Hi everyone, it's Ashley. Today we're going to be doing a really quick and simple gift idea. This really pretty frame from Michael's. I believe it's 99 cents. It comes in this bare wood. Let's give it one light coat of white chalk paint. It is not completely covered. You can still see some of the wood there. And then we will be applying some vinyl and really customizing this to make it a really nice gift for the holiday season. I love gifting these because there's really so many ways that you can customize this and really make it really personalized to the person you're giving it to. Also, if you're keeping it for yourself, to really customize it for the look in your home and maybe even for the room that you're putting it in. This is meant to put a photo here in the heart spot. It has on the back, like the photo things where you open it and you can insert your photo, which you absolutely can do. It would be super sweet. That is not how I choose to use the frame. Today we will be putting some very pretty pattern paper here where this goes. We will be adding a little bit of vinyl, and then we will also be adding another way to add a photo here. Okay, so this is just the way that I prefer to use these frames. I think they're a great bang for your buck, and they're so easy and simple to customize, and I just really enjoy gifting these. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is I'm just going to take my measuring tape really quickly, and I'm just going to measure. I know that I want to put my vinyl sentiment right here towards the bottom, so I am just going to measure kind of how big I want this to be, right? So I know that more often than not, I'm going to put a 4x6 photo in this frame. So what I'm going to look for here is, I know that it's about here to 4 inches, right? So that gives me from here to here down for vinyl. And then I know that I have about 6 inches here. So my photo, if I use a 4x6, it's going to go about this much into whatever I put in the heart, right? I personally love this look. I think that it looks really pretty when the picture interacts with the pattern paper you have underneath in our matching vinyl, but we will see that at the end. But just keep that in mind, right? Whatever size photo you want to use, just kind of keep that in mind when you're measuring how big you want to put your vinyl. Now, you could absolutely put your photo here and use this side completely for vinyl. That would be so pretty and it would come out so beautiful, and you could have such a big sentiment or design here, and I think that would be so pretty. It's just not how I prefer to use it. I like the look of the pattern paper with the matching vinyl and then a photo. So I will show you that, but let's just keep on keeping on here. So I know here at the bottom that if I use a 4x6 photo, let's say the photo starts right about there. So I know that I have from about here to here, right, to put my sentiment. So that's where I'm gonna look. And then I'm just gonna say that I don't want my sentiment to be any longer than 6 inches. I think that that will give us plenty of space to write our sentiment, and I think it'll be just fine. So we're gonna say, and because I'm using a text sentiment, it won't be more than the width, right? So I'm just gonna focus on the width. I know that I have about 6 inches that I wanna use to place my sentiment, so that's what we will focus on. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into Design Space and I'll show you what I'm thinking. So here we are in Cricut Design Space. I have my joy selected here because it is on my craft desk and this is going to be a fairly small project. So I'll just go ahead and use my joy. I'm going to go ahead and select new project here. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my shape button here and I'm going to just grab a square. And I'm going to make this 6 inches wide. And then I will unlock it and I'll just make it like 2 inches high. I'm not really too worried about the height, but just so it gives me a little bit of an easier area to work with. I always change this to white just because it's easier on my eye and my blank is white. So it just really gives me an idea of what I'm doing and what it's going to look like. For the purposes of the video, I will click right here where it says blank canvas. And right up here, it's hard to see because it's white now, but the only thing that's the only option that's available, it says color. And right here, it's white. But I'm going to go ahead and change it to pink, just so it's easier for you guys to see what I'm doing. When you're doing it in person, it's really quite easy to see the white on white, but I know on videos, just from watching other videos, sometimes it can be a little hard to see. So I'll go ahead and change my canvas color to pink, and you can always change it back just by doing the same thing. You'll just click right here where it says blank canvas. All of the options go away other than color, and here you can see now that it's pink, you can see it a little better. Right now it's changed to pink, okay? So you can just click on your square and it'll take you back to your whole big menu. And for this frame, I will be going to text, and I'm just going to simply write, "We love you." Now for the font, I am going to just come in. I'm going to be using typewriter for this project today. So this is here, and then I like to, it's just like a style choice, but I prefer to, this isn't letting me edit. Oh, let me go back. There we go. And then I'm just going to add a period. I just like the way it looks. This is really giving me a hard time here. Okay, so let's just delete. So we have our square here. I'm going to go to text. And this text box is being a little weird today, but we will persist, I think. So I'm just going to do all in lowercase, "We love you," with the period. Like I said, it's just how I prefer to design. I don't know why this period is doing this. Design Space is being a little weird today. So for a quick remedy, I will just go to the shape box. I will put this right over the period. So it's just my period in the square. So it's just the period and my square. I will select them both and I will go to slice. And what that's going to do is it's just going to remove my period from my text so that I can move it up. I have no idea why Design Space is acting like that, but here we are nonetheless. So I will go ahead and size this down. So I know that I didn't want it to be any more than 6 inches, right? Which is the size of my box. So I'm going to make it just about 6 inches, but not quite, right? I always like to err on the side of caution. So that to me looks great. I love it. I think it looks beautiful. So we will go ahead and we can hide the square. And then we're going to take these two, because I did separate that period because it was not cooperating. We will go to attach so that our Joy will cut it out just as we see it here, okay? So we're going to go ahead and go to make it, and it's going to load it onto our mat. Here it says on the mat, the regular size mat, and since this is adhesive vinyl, we do not need to mirror the design, okay? So that looks perfect. We're just going to put it on a mat. It looks like it's just over 5 inches, and we will hit continue. Now for our setting, I'm going to say premium vinyl, and then we will go ahead and just hit go, and our Joy will start. Alright, so we can hit unload. It looks great. It did a great job. We'll go ahead and hit done. Alright, so with adhesive vinyl, we're going to put it pretty side up, right? So we're going to put the vinyl up. Your backing will go on to your mat, okay? So we're just going to take this and line it up. Just like so. And we're just going to get that on there very nicely and just lay it down. I'll just use my brayer tool here and let me tell you, on camera, you can see like there's so many bubbles in the vinyl, but in person, it's really hard to tell that there's really any bubbles. And honestly, I really don't ever have much of an issue with it. So it probably looks worse on camera than it does in person, for sure, but it'll be just fine, I promise. So now in Cricut Design Space, we will go ahead and load our mat here. Alright, so now we are done with that. We can go ahead and move this back to its home. And then I will just take my mat, flip it over, grab our vinyl from the corner there, and you're just going to want to pull the mat away from the vinyl. And then I will get my cover sheet here and we will place that right back down. And this is the mat that I showed you guys last time from the Dollar Tree, and it is amazing. I love it. Next time I go to the Dollar Tree, I will definitely be on the lookout for these. My family and I are just getting over a little bit of a bug, so I don't know when that will be. We are finally all on the mends, but it has been a rough week here in our household, but God is good and we are making it through. So I will just go ahead and trim our design here because this is one of my favorite colors in the world. I use it for everything and I save every last bit of it. So I will definitely be saving that. Now I'm going to grab my scraper here and I'm just going to very gently scrape the back just because it is text and it is fairly small. I'm just going to want to make sure that all of those letters are really still on that transfer, on that backing there, and that they haven't gotten shifted or moved around, so when we go to weed it, they're not coming up everywhere, right? So we're just gonna go very, very slowly here because they are pretty small letters. So we're just gonna go slowly, just watching, make sure we have all of our letters sticking down. Like here, this L wanted to come up, so we will just do a little bit of a rescue mission, and I will have to go in and kind of center that a little better in just a second. All right, not bad at all. So we just have one little thing here, just our, try to bring you guys in a little. So next we will grab some transfer tape. I always look through my scraps first to see if I have anything. It doesn't look like I have anything that will fit the shape, the size that we need for this. And also because I will be using a new piece of transfer tape because I didn't have any scraps that'll work, I'm going to opt for a paper transfer tape. The paper transfer tape is just a little less tack. And when I'm working on a painted surface, I usually go with the paper transfer tape just because there's less of a chance that it'll rip up your paint, right? We just painted this. I don't want it to rip it up. Now the paper transfer tape is less tack. It's really, really nice transfer tape, but I will say that with such a low tack that it's hard to reuse it. You know, in the same project, you could probably use it like, you know, maybe twice, especially if you're painting on a painted applying it to a painted surface. However, do not expect to get many uses out of it, okay? But the paper transfer tapes usually come in a really huge roll, and they're usually really, the price is not bad for it. I don't even know if regular transfer tape is meant to be reused or not. I'm sure the transfer tape companies are like, no, you're not supposed to reuse it. But I just see everybody reuse it and it's perfectly fine. Let me tell you, I have pieces of transfer tape that I've just used for like small little projects here and there, you know, and like, I promise I've used them like 8 times and they're fine. So I just keep them in this little area here, and I literally just go through and see if I have any that fit the project that I'm working on. And if I come across one, you know, and it's not really sticky anymore, I'll throw it out, but I use those things forever, I promise. And then just fixing my period here because it got a little off kilter there. Perfect. So not horrible, definitely a little more effort than I usually have to put into it, but not bad. We got through it, everything is good. So here we have our frame. So I'm just going to simply take this and I'm just going to place it where I would like it. And I think that looks just about right to me. So we will just lay it down here. Give it just very, very, not too hard. And then we will rip it up. Going slowly, just monitoring. And look at that, perfect. Look how sweet that came out. I just love it. I just think it takes it really to just such a different level. It's crazy how nice it just makes it look. It's so simple to do, you know? Right, so bringing in my little treasure chest here, I'm going to grab one of these little clothespins. They're like a mini clothespin. I got them at Michael's in a pack of like 1,000,000 of them, so I'm sure you can find them at just about any store, definitely any craft store. So they're just really cute little mini clothespins, super sweet. Paper that I chose to use, it's like this pink, but it also has like kind of brownish tint to it. It's just really, really pretty and I really love it, and we're going to be using that today. I think it pairs really nicely with the color of vinyl that I chose to use. And then also with the clothespin, I think it's just so precious. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn this over here. I will open up the picture frame. And we're just going to simply use the template that's in here as a template for us to cut our pattern paper out of. Alright. So I'll just take a pencil here and just very quickly and loosely trace around the image just so I get an idea of where I'm going to cut. And then I will just bring in some scissors here and just very quickly cut out our pattern, giving myself a lot of grace here because I am like the worst cutter outer. Like, I don't know what the word for it is, but I am like the worst at cutting things out. I really am. I don't know why. So just giving myself lots of grace. I always cut, you know, on the outside of the line and just try to follow my pattern as closely as I can there. But this is great because it has like this little lip here. So it really gives you a nice, like, a finished look. All right, so now we're gonna have to trim this down a little because I did go outside of the lines and it is a little too big. So I'm just gonna go around really quickly. It is a lot easier once I have like all that other paper out. It's a lot easier for me to work with less paper. So just going really quickly. And then in this step, you're really just gonna wanna, you know, trial and error, right? Trace it, try to put it in, see where it needs trim. Trace it, you know, trim it, trace it. All right, that looks great. So now let's very quickly just kind of flip it over to the front, make sure. Yes, that looks wonderful. It looks beautiful. And like I said, because it has like that nice lip on it, it gives it a really finished look to it. So I love that. That is perfect. So I will just go ahead and close these right back down on our paper, just like so. And then look how precious that is. Look how cute that is. I love it so much. And it's just amazing how quickly it comes together. So our last little step here is going to be adding our clip, and this is how I will be hanging a photo from this picture frame, right? So I'm just gonna bring in my hot glue gun, just a very, very little amount there. And then I will just position this right in the center, or as close to the center as I can get, just like that. Perfect. And then it comes with a little stick here. So you just take and put your stick into the hole like that, and it sets up like this. So look how precious that is. Oh, I just love it so much. And I'll show you guys with the photo in it. I have to grab one, but like I said, I usually put a 4x6 in here. And I love how the 4x6, it just very so slightly comes into the pattern paper. And it looks, I just love it so much. It's so pretty. It's such a cute gift. And like I said, there's so many ways that you could personalize this. This is just my preference and how I like to use this frame, but really the possibilities are endless. And I could show you guys 10 different ways that you could make this. And I mean, for 99 cents, you know, this is really a heartfelt gift that you could customize to anyone, to any room, to any person, you know. And I love little blinks like this that really are affordable and that you really could just do so many things with. And you could give this same exact gift to 5 different people and they would all look completely different, you know. I could give this blank to 5 different crafters and we would all come out with something completely different, and I just absolutely love that. And this is my take on this frame, and I hope you guys loved it. I hope you guys were inspired. I hope that you guys feel a little more confident in trying something like this, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.